Oh, you know what we need to do is record here too.
We hit record. Step 1 of season 5. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Get Said podcast, an old girls entertainment production where neoteric meets nostalgia. We are back from the break to start our 5th season of the podcast.
Woo!
Luckily, yes, woohoo! Luckily, we weren't gone for too long because we just couldn't stay away.
Couldn't.
No.
We really couldn't.
That being said, we're so excited to be back on the pod sharing our experiences as women in the TV and film industry. Today, it's just your co-hosts. It's just me, Justine, and
Monique Schwaneman.
Woo-hoo.
And so while we were doing old girl shit, laundry and curling our hair on the floor,
yes.
Jessica just came up with our new slogan. I don't know if you caught it, where neoteric meets nostalgia. So neoteric I love because it sounds super witchy. But so what neoteric means,
Not the dirt.
Neoteric is perfect for us because it means new or modern or recent. So the recent meeting nostalgia.
Yeah.
Old girls. It's perfect. Iconic. Thank you, Jessica, for your beautiful writer mind. Snaps for that. So anyways, today we are so excited. It is season 5. I'm so thrilled. We love doing this. Today on the pod, we're discussing getting out of your own way. We're looking forward to talking about this as our season 5 opener. But before we get into that, if you are returning here, thank you so much.
Yes.
We hope that you rate and review this podcast 5 stars. And we really hope 5 stars. We really hope you enjoy this as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. And if you're new to the podcast, hello.
Hi. Don't forget to rate and review also.
Hello.
Same applies.
We're so thrilled that you found us. And this is what we're about, okay? We're a podcast that aims to demystify the idea of an overnight success while highlighting the array of diverse jobs within the industry with a focus on women in TV and film. Of course. We're the best.
You're so extra. I love it.
I'm the actor. That's why.
I know. Yeah, she's bringing it. As always, as we always say on the pod, there are definitely wrong ways to do things, but there's not really a right way. Mm-hmm. There's many different right ways, actually, we could say.
Yeah. So let's get started on getting out of your own way.
First of all, let's define what's potentially stopping you.
Or us. Oh man, not looking inward.
This is not a therapy session.
Not yet. So the first one we have is getting caught up in the details. I know I do this as a Virgo.
Yeah. Also, number 2, fear of failure.
Yeah. Number 3, another Virgo trait, perfectionism.
Yeah. So I'm also going to say maybe number 4 could also be like not valuing yourself enough.
Ooh.
In that kind of thinking like, what does it matter?
Oh,
you know?
That one's hard right now. The
right.
What does it matter is really hard in 2026, which is where we are right now. It is February, March, and, hopefully the world starts to get better. We don't. It's very optimistic to say that, but we just kind of have been sharing things with each other recently about why art is so important. I mean, when revolutions happen, when wars happen, they come for scientists and artists for a reason. Mm-hmm. We illuminate society, what's happening in it. But also, even if it's not, we just shared a post with each other earlier today, like your comedies matter, like making people feel good. When the pandemic hit, streaming boomed because people felt alone, isolated. People needed to laugh. People needed to connect with other human beings. And art is a way to do that. So even though you open up your phone and might feel like crying every second, it's what you're doing is important. It's important to keep moving forward, even if it just fulfills you. Mm-hmm. Even right now, if you're not putting something out yet, but you're writing something and it's fulfilling you, that totally matters. You are a human being in this world, and that matters. Mm-hmm. But getting caught up in the details gets me bad. I am a list type girl, and I can get caught up with all the things I should do. I have to hit steps 1 through 10 before I hit step 11, and that's not always the case.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Word.
Word. You said it, sister. I think that, okay, so let me just take to my experience a little bit in that at this one point in college, there was a class, it was a thesis class, and it was going to be 2 semesters, and you had to hit all these different requirements. Well, I was a transfer student, so I didn't have all those requirements like per the, I don't know, like within the different classes within that school.
Yeah.
So, but I talked to the professor and I was like, "Hey, I'd love to apply." And he had told me like what the actual requirements were. He was like, "You just got to meet that." And I was like, "Oh, thanks so much. I actually don't meet the requirements." And then he didn't let me stop. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, actually, let's like, work. And he kind of realized, like, he kind of told me right then and there, it's not a done deal. So don't count yourself out. Because he was like, you may have hit these requirements in other classes or with different experience. And so I think that the getting caught up in the details, if I just looked at what the detail of those classes were,
yeah,
I would have just like been like, no. But it took someone else being like, no, still apply, and then I got in, thankfully. So
honestly, that's so relatable,
Yeah.
not just in TV and film, but anything you apply for, whether it's an internship, whether it's a job.
Yep.
There have been twice that I've applied for a job that on paper I didn't have the credentials for, but I know I had the experience for.
Right.
And I just petitioned and I had to connect the dots for them and show, hey, no, actually I am qualified because I've done X, Y, and Z, wrote it down, and I got in and I got the job.
Yeah.
And so you do have to connect the dots for people sometimes, by relating your experience to whatever you're applying for, whether it's a mentorship, an internship, a job.
I also think like internally, or if you're like if you're being hired for something internally, or if you're being, recommended for a job or whatever, like you may not hit all those requirements, but maybe like
you're better.
Yeah. Or they just really want to freaking work with you. And so if you just apply and you say, hey, I don't have all this experience, I have some experience, but not everything that's on this list.
But I'm
they can decide.
Willing to work, yes.
But you don't count yourself out ahead of time.
Correct.
Get out of your own fucking way.
Get out of your own fucking way. Yeah. So I guess rule number 1 in combating this, is don't count yourself out. And we've heard that in a previous episode. It's like, why am I giving myself a no when someone already has the power to say yes or no? That's their job. So they'll figure it out.
Yeah, let them do their job.
Let them do their job.
Yeah.
What about
fear of failure? That one I feel like stopped me a lot when I was first starting out. And I think that the more I practiced failure, the better I got at failure. And also because I think when you first start and you fail, it's devastating.
Yeah.
Because that's all you have, right? You don't have also success. And I think as you start failing more, you realize that it's not that big of a deal, I guess.
No.
And by failing, I mean like getting rejections or I don't know, what other failures?
Or just not getting the job,
or
not getting the job, fired, or maybe you get a call back, or maybe you go to the last round of interviews, or you think that you're going to get a new job and the show gets canceled.
Yeah. Or you make mistakes on your scripts or whatever it is. Like you have, or you make an amazing like short film, but there are issues in the short film that technically. And so things were like, but that's all just like practice of doing and practice of failing. So that way you can then like get better the next time. And the good thing that you will know is that if you didn't try at all, then you wouldn't have that behind you and you wouldn't know what not to do the next time.
Also, you don't know
or what to do.
Exactly. You don't know what you're going to learn through that experience. There are definitely experiences that I've had where I come out of it and I'm like, wow, this didn't go well. And I really wish I didn't have to learn this lesson, but I learned this lesson. I really wish that I didn't pick a partner who was going to let me down, like creatively, and like, until I found Jessica. And it's hard. It's hard to go through those growing pains. It's hard to invest money in yourself or in a project where other people let you down. But that made me crystallize even more who I want in a partner, what kind of people align with me.
I also think
how to communicate.
Better to know when eyes aren't on you.
True.
This isn't, I mean, it feels like big because we all dream and think of like of the overnight success of the thing that's like gonna push someone over the edge in terms of like success or whatever. But more than likely what you're doing right now is not going to be the thing that blows up for you. But yeah, I don't know. Like if you don't have the eyes
go through the growing pains now.
Yeah, exactly.
Go through the growing pains now.
Exactly.
Also, there are so many times. My next note here is, start now, because if it's a no, you get the no sooner and then you can move on. There are so many times where I've worried about sending an email. I send an email and the email address bounces back. And I've waited 2 weeks to send this email, and I'm just like, shit. If I had just sent this email when I was supposed to, I would have been 2 weeks sooner to finding the more correct email, you know?
Yeah.
Or if it's reaching out to someone and they're like, oh, and you're like, I really want to, one of our goals every month is to meet new people for a coffee date or a virtual date or something to network and, talk to people about their part in the industry, which is what we love to do. And if we reach out and it's a no, or I'm busy this month and I've waited till halfway through the month, then that just crushes my timeline to fill those slots and get other people. So why not just prep yourself and do it early? Even so, it's the mental hurdle of getting over your fear of no, because we hear this all the time. What's the worst that can happen? Honestly, it doesn't feel that bad. It doesn't feel that bad when someone says I'm busy or when someone doesn't respond. It's just like, okay, and we move on. So
and I think it doesn't feel bad because we're consistently doing it. And so who cares? Like, not who cares, but like, it doesn't feel as bad because you're not holding this as this one precious thing, as like, this is going to be the thing. It's just one thing that you're doing along with 1,000 other things. And if that's a success, then we're excited. If it's a failure, then like, whatever, we have these other things going for us too.
I guess it's also, we don't have this written down, but it's not putting all your eggs in one basket is in aligns with that, because again, and I've heard this as an actor in classes before too. If you treat every audition like, this is going to make or break me financially, all my eggs are in this basket, if I don't get this, I'm devastated, you're not going to do a good job.
Right. So you're nervous
all the eggs are in one basket, or your whole life is riding on this, which it never is. Your whole life is not riding on this one thing.
Too, I think that excitement can happen. Like, if you do get, an interview at this one place and you're like, this is perfect, I really want this. Like, I think that's very like exciting, and it's fine. But I think, I don't know. I'm just trying to be like, well, no, still be excited for things, please.
Oh, no, totally still be excited for things. But it's, it's very rare that one instance is the end all be all.
Yeah.
And how many times, think to yourself, when you really wanted something and you got it, did it drastically change your life? Maybe it did. For me, most of the time it didn't.
Yeah, normally it's just like the build up. It's like the coins in the coin jar thing.
And as artists, we constantly have to tell ourselves, like you said, to celebrate the wins, because once we hit a milestone, we're looking to the next milestone. Yeah. So yes, celebrate the wins, but also once you hit this goal, you're going to have another goal. So why are you stressing so much about step 1 when, tomorrow, like a week from now, you could already be at step 5?
Yeah. Speaking perfectionism.
Woo!
Let's hear it.
Oh.
Which I think you kind of touched on a little bit already, in terms of like waiting to send this email to make sure it's completely right. And then
Jessica knows this well about me. I will read the email 3 times, and Jessica's like, send it. And a couple times she's just reached over and pressed send. I'm like, no, I didn't read it for the 6th time. But it's wanting. It's okay. Have I sent emails with a typo in it? Most of the time they're text messages, but yes. and it happens, and we're human, and it's okay.
I also just think, like, if you're getting an email, do you really care that much about the typos?
I mean, we do, but
not really. I mean, maybe a little bit of just like, oh, there's a typo or whatever, but I personally don't care that much. I mean, I just don't.
But it's, it's the constant millennial struggle for the millennials out there. How many exclamation points is too much?
Yeah. Because here's the thing,
for me, it's none. It's all.
I'm also thinking, like, in a script, right? If you have like 2 or 3 typos in a 90-page script,
you're
but
fine.
Like, the plot is killer. Everything else, all the big stuff is like
the characters are developed.
And this is something that, my English professors would say, because English was like one of my majors, and
one of my majors.
And they would say, like, honestly, at this point, if your grammar's a little off, if you have a typo, like, I'm not going to dock you, because if the content is so strong, I don't care. Like, if you have a typo, obviously, if it's riddled with it and it looks like it's like a rush job, then that's something else. But like, if you have 2 or 3 typos in a 5-page essay, who really cares if your argument is strong and the content in which you're presenting is like the best? And so if my English professors can like chill a little bit about, grammar and spelling, then I feel like most people can chill a little bit.
I think the perfectionism also comes with you always want to make a good impression.
Right.
And I mean, even from starting out, from like my college days as a BFA acting student, it's always like if I make a bad impression, this person will blacklist me or this person will never work with me again. And that fear, at least for me, has been instilled from the beginning. So it makes you really want to not make a misstep. And I just, as long as you're being a good person, as long as you're respectful, as long as you prep properly, you're not going to get blacklisted.
No.
It's not really, it's not a thing unless you're a complete douchebag, you know?
I also think this is a lesson that I learned pretty quickly, and this is going to sound harsh, but other people don't have time for your insecurities.
Mm.
And so they just don't care. Like if it's meaning if you are like freaked out where you're like, oh my God, I sent that email on how to like, it's probably not a make or break.
Oh, yes, gave me a bad flashback.
Let's hear it.
When we got an email and then the person sent up like 3 subsequent emails of like correcting themselves or justifying what they asked for. And it was an emotional overload. It's just like, I would have been fine. I would have been fine with that first email and it would have been completely okay. And then all of the follow-ups before we gave a response was showed me that this person might not be easy to work with. So those insecurities are really the things that could backfire if they're overloaded to someone who is working on a tight schedule, is trying to accommodate you anyways, or is trying to be amicable to working as a collaborative team.
Yeah. I think too, like, especially, I mean, even if you're thinking, like, just looking at the things that we've defined in terms of getting caught up in the details, fear of failure, perfectionism, who cares if you bring, your end product to meet the deadline? That's what matters.
I was just at
We don't really care. Other people don't care. The bosses, the whatever, don't care as long as everything gets done in time. Like,
yeah.
And that's your own mental energy that you're doing. Sorry, you were just at Sundance.
No, yeah, I was just at Sundance. And I was speaking with filmmakers who had films in the 4 official selections of the festival. And one of them got in time. The final product was done. Other ones, their final product as an official selection wasn't presented to Sundance until like a few days before the festival started, which is crazy to me. But
at the end of the day,
the story was great. The product was great. The filmmakers were great. And so deadline. At the end of the day, they met the deadline for the screening. Yeah. So, and also showing that, speak for what you need. I don't know. That would stress me out. I would want it in way earlier than that. But to say, like, does it happen that people get deadlines pushed? Yes. For quality, sometimes yes. Sometimes things take time. But honestly, communication is really important. And if you're asking for something, like, they're probably like very specific. Yeah. Like being specific in your asks kind of cuts out that unknown, that insecurity. Because if you're like, I just need more time, it's hard that people are going to give that to you if you don't have specific goals, if you don't have a specific timeline or a plan in place. Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall it's just about anxiety. Like, I definitely feel you with anxiety. Like, I feel like that's the thing I think that what stops me the most in general. Like, again, it's putting that emphasis on the thing, whatever it is that you're trying to do. That's like, and you're stopping yourself is the anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even just thinking about procrastination, right? Is like sitting there thinking about it. You haven't done this and you still haven't done it, and you're doing all these other things and you still haven't done it. But then once you actually sit there and do it, oh my God, it feels so good. And then you're like, 1, it feels amazing. 2, you're like, why was I stressing?
Right.
Why was I spending all that mental energy? And then 3, like, you realize it's not that fucking big of a deal. Like, I don't know, just like the mental load, because you've made it so big in your mind, the mental load all of a sudden is like, actually, that really wasn't.
And you can move through life with more clarity or more like capacity to do other things once that mental load is off. Something, I think we've said this on the pod before too, something that I always like to think about because I'm a very time-centric person is how long these hard tasks take. Like, I hate doing the dishes. I hate doing chores, period. But I hate doing the dishes. And then I'm just like, oh my God. And then I always, whenever I'm doing it, I always look over at the clock and I'm like, wow, it's only been 5 minutes and I'm almost done. So also for me, it helps to think in terms of time. It's like, okay, I'm really stressed about this task. I could stress about it all day, or it could take me 30 seconds to send this email.
Yeah.
And so that concept of time for me personally helps me get out of my head to actually get it done and accomplish it.
Yeah.
The time stressed versus the time it actually takes to do it, weighing that balance out. And it's like, okay, no, I just have to do it right now.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just want to reframe a little bit.
Reframe it.
Let's talk about the failures again, about the fear of failures, which we probably should talk about earlier, but it's fine. Structure, who is it? What is structure? It doesn't matter. But in terms of fear of failure, I saw on TikTok, one of these amazing creators said that she was reframing failures in 2025, I think it was, and now she's doing it again in 2026, where she was trying to collect 100, or I think it was 1,000 no's, basically trying to fail 1,000 times, because at the end of the day, that means that she was trying. And then at the end of the year, what she did is she said, so I tried to fail 1,000 times. Here are all the times that I failed at failing. And what it was,
she succeeded.
She succeeded and got what she wanted. So she was like, I got into a master's program. Mm-hmm. I auditioned for a commercial and I got it. And so she was like saying like, oh, okay, these are all the times that I failed at failing. And I thought that was such a positive way of doing things, of like, I'm not even necessarily like, I do want the things, right? But you're, at the end of the day, it's like, how many no's can I collect? That means how many times can I try, put myself out there. And it kind of also is like, well, if I don't even really like care if I get it, then what's stopping me? What can I do?
Those are the best auditions that I have.
Also though, too, it's like, I mean, even thinking beyond, right? Like the scope of auditioning or thinking like the big dream of like, okay, well, I mean, why not try to get this, or like something that you kind of would never think to do or get. And it just makes like, I don't know. So like, it really makes like dreaming big
not that scary.
Because then you're like, well, let me try to work for this massive company. And then, if you
don't get it, no harm, no foul.
There you go. One more no. I got it.
Yeah.
Got my no.
Yeah.
Got my failure. But I tried.
But in the trying, actually attempt it well and actually prove that, do apply properly.
No, this isn't like a shit and gig of like whatever, who cares?
No, but it is everything.
Yeah, and I think too, you should follow up and like, you should like want to be doing it. You shouldn't just try to actually just like collect no's. But
as long as it aligns, if it's a bigger dream than all the other ones, whatever. And also, you will have gone through that process of applying, so you know how that works. Whether you get to the second level or third level, let's say you get to that second level. Now you know how that second level works. Like there are so many people that, go out for series regulars roles, they go for testing and then they don't get it. But guess what? They went through that whole process. They know how that process is. And it's all learning.
Yeah. And then another thing that I learned from a podcast
we love podcasts.
I don't remember where it was from.
Okay.
Because I just saw it was like one of those quotes from Instagram, you know, those like clips. But they said, failure is not real if experience is the goal. Once again, it's about either collecting your no's or, just like.
If experience is the goal, you got the experience. So guess what? It's actually not a failure because you achieved something.
Yep.
And that's a win.
A win.
It's a win.
But yeah, I think that too, if you're, I don't know, again, if it's just writing your first feature. Like whenever I wrote my feature, I was like, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try. It's going to take me forever. It's probably not going to be good. And then you go for it. I mean, like, and it's always going to be like something.
And ours was your first feature.
Yeah.
And it's fucking incredible.
Okay, calm down. But like the thing is that you try, you experiment, and that's also like the creativity side of things, which is so exciting, is like, or for an audition tape, like being like, I don't know, this is probably completely wrong of what they want, but I'm going to go in with a really strong character choice and whatever else. And you're like, just experience.
Oh yeah. There are times that I've gone in and I look at the character description and either physically or whatever, like I am not this person, but that's not my job. the casting director brought me in. They saw my headshot. My headshot aligns with what I look like now. So I'm like, all right, maybe they just want to throw a wild card in. And there's so many times that I've gotten callbacks for those instances. Like, wow, we really didn't picture you as this, but hey, that worked. You brought it, it works. Yeah, just doing your due diligence and actually trying.
Yeah, and being as creative as possible. And like, who cares? Like, who cares if you have something that's also another thing? Majority of the time that you have a script that you've written, it probably won't be made. But it's practice that you have. And on top of that, it's a specs or a script that you can like send out to people being like, this is an example of how I write.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be something that's actually going to be made or whatever, but like, this is how I write. This is what I do. It's an example of my work.
Yeah.
And then you get another job from some other thing, so.
It's always good to have things in your back pocket just to be prepared or to say that you've done that. If you're like, like you said, if you're like, I am a writer and they're like, have you written anything? And you say no, it's really hard to sell yourself.
Or even like short films. I mean, I know a lot of people will make short films and think like, okay, and now I need to go expand this for a larger story, which is great if you have that in you, if you want a larger story and you want to make it into a short film or whatever it is. But like, even just having a short film that you're, writing or directing or in or producing or whatever. Yeah, you have it done. And honestly,
doesn't mean it has to go anywhere.
Chapters,
but you
didn't go. I mean, we like our short film. We were in a few festivals, which was nice.
We won a few awards.
Like whatever. But it's out on YouTube and everything. But what I got from it, Kelsey brought her on through.
Brought us on. We started our production company.
It's now a sample of my work. Yeah, exactly. It's a sample of my work that people can look at and be like, "Oh, I like the way that happened," or whatever it is. And so, like, the style of that. So I want to bring them on to do my project or whatever, which we've gotten a couple different,
So however far that project goes, at the end of the day, it's experience.
Exactly.
Also, I think something that I like to do, because once you get over the mental hurdle of completing task 1, once you're in that, usually after you hit send or apply or whatever it is, you're like, oh man, I can do this. Like, oh wow. And I mean, Jessica sees it in like real time. We've done it together. Be like, I sent an email. Let's send another one.
Let's send the rush.
The rush of hitting send. So my thing is to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah.
So if if you're going to send one email, send all the fucking emails in that 30-minute time window.
Right.
Because your adrenaline's going, you're like, that wasn't that hard.
No. And also, whenever because there's been times where we've gotten a yes or whatever.
Also,
and then I'm like, let me send 5 more emails.
Yes.
Like, whenever you get those little like yeses or those little like successes, that's also when you're like, because like, I don't know, your ego is boosted. And so all of a sudden you're like,
I can do anything. I can do anything.
So let me do everything.
Also, when we, because we had a major yes from a podcast guest, which you will hear from this season, which is very exciting. A few guests, but so we got a yes, and then we're like, okay, let's email all these people, and then I think we immediately got back with like, oh no, like they're not available, but it doesn't matter because we're still riding the high of that first yes. So striking while the iron is hot and striking while you are in that place of I am worthy, I am confident, I am skilled, I am asking for something I'm prepared for.
It literally helps so much.
So just realizing that you're in that headspace when something good happens, and then just sitting down and be like, okay, I got a yes.
Take the opportunity while it's there.
I got a yes. Let me maybe redo my resume. Even if you're not sending we say sending emails a lot because we send a lot of emails. But like if you have to, if you're feeling in a confident space, update your bio from that confident space, because you are going to talk about yourself differently as you do that than you would have an hour ago when maybe you were feeling anxious.
Yeah, I also think, again, we're really talking about the emails and the reach out, because I think that's what I don't know, at least for us, I think the getting out of your own way, like that's new for us in terms of like the email, the business side of things. I think is like the newest part for us, or the things that we're finding the most challenging right now.
Or the things we have to do the most of.
Right. And that's just like another thing to kind of like flag in that, yes, the creative is massive and you got to hone your craft. But then half of it, more than half of it, is the business side.
Is admin.
And admin and really figuring out, and also just reaching out to people, because again, it's one of those things, like you could be practicing your monologues in your room, or you could be writing the best script there ever was and giving the best performance and doing everything. But if no one else sees it,
if you don't talk to anybody about
then that's fine if that's what fills you creatively and you're happy with like not having like a quote unquote career from it. But if you want a career, you want to make money, you want to gain the experience and step out of like your bedroom or whatever it is, or your desk, then you have to do
you have to open up to the world.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and sometimes too, that's like the scariest part, right? Is like sharing that art with the world, because of the rejection that's awaiting you, because you will get rejected. I think that it's not a if, it's a when.
Yeah.
Or how much or whatever it is. And I think it's just taking that with stride.
Yeah. So Jess and I have admin days or admin hours.
Yeah.
And it is really important to carve that time out of your schedule. Actually put it on your calendar.
Because otherwise it always gets put on the back burner.
Yeah. Think about it as like a doctor's appointment. Like you have to go to the doctor to keep up your bodily health. You have to, bodily just sounds like such a gross word. So gross, like moist.
Moist. Oh my God, stop. How are you doing it with all that?
But you have to schedule this time to keep up the health of your business and the health of your career. Very important.
Yeah. In terms of like overthinking, again, I think, one of those things of like, it's not ready, or I don't have all the details like ironed out, or I don't want to like fail, or all of those like things, or I'm not worthy enough, or whatever it is. Honestly, like those are all like those are excuses, which I mean, some of them are more valid than others, I guess at certain points. But at the end of the day, you just have to fucking go for it. You have to just apply. You have to just start. You have to just do it. And it's literally the just is how menial it is. Because even though it feels like the biggest thing for you, because this could be your thing, or this would be so great for your experience or whatever it is, it's not a big deal for anyone else. Like, and
this is like your step 1, but this is maybe their step 200.
Right. And I mean, even like people have reached out to us and everything. And I'm sure it took so many people like a huge courage to apply for stuff or reach out or send emails. And for us, it's just like another day of like, oh, it's an email. They seem great. We don't have the time right now, or whatever it is, it's just another thing. And honestly, we don't remember those people like that haven't refollowed up or whatever it is. Right. So even though it feels like so massive, because again, just kind of thinking on both sides, I think it helps too that we've had the experience of like running
being on both sides,
of being on both sides of like,
and if we don't have time for someone right now, but they were so kind and professional in their emails, those that we do follow up with.
Right. We do follow up. And also if they follow up with us, we like to follow up too.
Yes.
But it's one of those things that like, just again, being on both sides of like, I see how not a big deal it is for people to.
It's always nice to work on the other side, whether it's an internship or whether interviewing other people. Because I did starting out right after college, I did an internship at an actor's agency, and seeing the back end of submissions and things like that, it's like a little bit more comforting just to have a little bit more details of that world. So I do recommend that if there's if you can shadow someone, it demystifies the scariness of that thing that you're looking for a little bit more.
And if you can't, know that like it doesn't fucking matter. It matters a lot to you.
As long as you're a good person. Right. That matters. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
In this day and age, it's important to say.
It matters a lot to you. Because at this moment in time, it's probably like the biggest fucking thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter to everyone else. So if you fail, or if you send something with a misspelling or whatever it is, it's okay. Just keep going. Just do it.
Keep going.
And it's again that just like it's just starting. It's just submitting to a festival.
And then if you can upplay it and celebrate all you want, but if it takes you to downplay it to actually press send or do it, then do that.
Exactly. It's about Right, exactly. It's about taking away. It doesn't really matter. Of course, it does matter if you get it, but if you don't, it doesn't matter.
It's okay. You'll keep moving.
Yeah,
you'll keep
exactly.
moving. And I think that also in the vein of just starting, and combating that idea of like needing to be perfect, it's okay to submit and to apply before you think you are ready. That's pretty much been every single time I've applied for something.
Yeah.
I've been like, wow, this would be really incredible. I know if given the opportunity, I would pivot and I would grow and I would do it. Am I going to step in and know everything? No. But that's also why I'm going for this job, because I want to progress as a human being.
Well, and then the film industry, I really feel, there's no training ground. It's not like you apply for a job and then they're like, okay, great. So you're going to come in, we're going to train you for 2
onboarding
weeks.
process.
No, you're in. So you're in and you learn on the fly. You do
and every project is different.
Exactly.
So even if you know, quote unquote, everything, you're going to have to learn something new on set for that project regardless, I'm sure.
Right. So I don't know. Like you just gotta, you're never going to be ready.
Yeah.
For the perfect job. You just aren't.
You just have to be mentally ready to apply.
Right. So you just got to do it. I don't know. It's, again, going back to like my professor and me being like, oh, I don't have the qualifications, never mind. And him literally not letting me, which is so nice. I'm like so thankful.
Because most people will just say, oh, okay, so she doesn't want it.
Right.
Okay,
exactly.
So she's not willing to assert herself.
That was in an educational setting. So I think, they're probably used to children not knowing what the heck to do. So he was very kind and like lifted me up, which is nice, but not everyone will do that. And I think you have to be the one to like, and two, when you like see a job posting and you're going to apply or whatever, and you don't have all those skills, no one's there to be like, no, just apply. You have to be that person of like, who cares? Just apply.
Also, because, anyone could be listening to this, and whoever you are, I'm glad you're here. But especially for women, we tend to downplay our experience. We tend to downplay what we're capable of so that we can try and fit ourselves into rooms. And I went into an interview the other day, and like one of the first things that they're like, thank you for being here. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'm the best candidate. Never said that in an interview before. Or yes, I'm like, yeah, I believe I'm truly the best for this role. And I walked out of that interview having laid everything on the table, feeling like, hey, if I don't get it, I still know I'm the best for this role. Like I still know that and again, that was like maybe the only unhumble moment I had. The rest of it was pretty humble, but it's okay to be confident in your skill set. And it actually goes against you if you shrink to try and fit somewhere.
I also feel like people or bosses or whoever, they want to know that someone can come in. And if they're confident, like the person that's coming in is confident, it relieves some stress, because if they can do it and not have to worry about this person, then go off. And that doesn't mean, be as like open as you possibly can.
Yeah,
everything.
That doesn't mean be an asshole, but you can be confident in your skills.
Right. And so it just helps. Like if they're like, okay, this person seems like confident, even if they are going to have some, even if there's going to be a learning curve,
we trust them to know how to navigate that.
Yeah, which is really, that's so hard to do. I know, like, I'm just thinking too, someone who's like starting out, or if it's a new position or whatever it is, it's so hard to like be confident in yourself. Like, it just, I know it is, but like.
But then what I say to that
how hard can it be a man to do it if a man does it? It's one of those things, right?
Yeah.
And if you are a man, exactly.
If you are a man, you know what we're talking about. There are so many times. There's so many times that we've said like we've sent an email or we've gotten booked for something and we're like, wow, men do this all the time.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about movement versus progress.
Okay.
Let's talk about movement, because I'm someone who likes to fill my time. It was so funny because I was talking to one of my best friends about this yesterday, and we're kind of fast walkers, and we were saying, I was like, oh yeah, if I'm walking with someone, I will like walk. You're a fast walker too. We're all fast walkers. I will walk forward past them. I will shoot and then double back and then walk again with them, because like it hurts me to walk that slow. And so, but again, movement versus progress.
Like just like walking in general.
Just like moving. Like it's hard for me to
but you're
sit down.
I'm so concerned.
Okay. Wait. It's hard for me to sit down and not be moving. But then you have to assess, is this am I moving towards something or am I just moving for the sake of moving?
Okay, right. So that's, I guess, what I'm concerned about. Because if you're walking with someone, are you chatting with them? Or, like, are you going for a stroll? Or are you trying to get somewhere? Like, what do you mean when you're saying?
I mean, I'm always trying to get somewhere. We're strolling, but I'm always trying to get somewhere. I'm not going to walk away from someone if they're talking to me. But if we're going from point A to point...
the movement versus progress. Because if you want to actually sit there and chat with
someone... If you want to
connect
with someone, you need to be there with them. Exactly.
Okay, copy.
This is we got there. This is the movement versus the progress. If you're spending quality time with someone...
Man, that really had me concerned.
You came back with them. However... If you need, I think it's a great simile. Movement versus progress. So look at how you're moving through day to day. It's like, are you doing something that's actually going to progress you towards the career that you want? Are you taking a class that's curated towards your goal? Like, let's say you're taking a comedy class. Do you want to work in comedy? If you don't want to work in comedy and you're just taking this class because it was cheaper than the class you really want to take, is it helping you at the end of the day?
Right. Also, I mean, I've been in conversation, which we had a conversation too with our friend Ryan, who is going to be on the podcast later. I've had other conversations with other people as well, where they're at the point in their career where they're working like full time as PAs and making decent money, but now they're really trying to pivot into other things or having to make these hard decisions of like, do I consistently go where? And again, this is one of those things that's so hard to navigate because there's no right way, because what you may need may be different from what other people may need.
Yeah.
And no right timing of things. But like, do I stay because the money is consistent and that's what I need most right now? Or do I take a pay cut, try to like, navigate my life and try to like push into another,
what's actually going to reward me later.
Right. And what I want for my career. And there's no right way, because we all have different responsibilities and the way timing is. And this industry is like been so crazy just with, COVID and strikes and things, productions moving out of LA, that it really is sometimes very hard to say no to a consistent paycheck or more paychecks or whatever it is.
Or something that's just going to cost money, period.
Right. And I mean, too, the other thing is like, we're doing our stuff over here, but we're not able to make a living off of it yet. Yeah. I mean, so much of this is like an investment. Yeah. Yes. And again, it's a flip between, is it an investment or gambling? I don't really know. I mean, I'm hoping it's investment.
It's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment. But, you have to kind of like see and like also, it's just, that's so hard to,
it's hard to
figure out where the movement is versus the progress. Because again, sometimes just being on set every day is like, that's the movement, right? Is that you're moving and you're around people and it's exciting and you have your long days and you have that paycheck, but then is there progress to where you actually want to be going and doing?
Right. But if you're on set as a base camp PA and you have like 2 background actors and you don't really get to talk to anybody and you don't get to see the production of the set that's going on, you're just sitting in base camp all day, is that movement or is that progress?
Right. I mean, and again, it depends on what you want to do and where you want to go and all the different things and like what that is allowing you. Because if you're doing that and it's on a show that works, 10 hours instead of whatever, maybe you have time afterwards to like do things, or I don't know. It's crazy.
Funny that you say, so it's only a 10-hour day, so you'll have time to do things.
Well,
a different vernacular. But true. I mean, but true. It's not a 16-hour day,
right?
Like you've been used to recently. Which is a lot.
I guess also another thing, just a reminder, is that like the worst that can happen is you get a no, but more than likely you'll just not get a response. And
I don't think
is that harder or not? I don't know.
I don't think people prepare for the no response,
right?
Because we didn't prepare for the no response until you get them. Right. And then you follow up, and then and then if there's still no response, there's no response. Or you have the email wrong, or that person works for a different company.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else sends postcards anymore, but for like actors, like especially when I just graduated, postcards were like a big thing and it was at the time where we're still bringing in physical headshots and resumes, and so you would mail them out. And you like prep all this work and spend this money and you send them out and you're like, oh yeah, this 3 of these addresses are invalid, and they come back and you're like,
that's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think too, if it's like it's a no response or like a not right now or whatever it is, like just I don't know. Like that's the worst that can happen. And I also think another thing that's very valid is fear of like a yes a little bit. And that again is one of those things that you need to maybe prepare for or be like
You have to prepare
that's
for the yes.
and that's the thing too is like be confident in yourself. That's where I think a lot of people like we've had recently. We've been trying to bring on some interns and we've had a lot of people who are like, okay, cool, let's go. Like they applied, they took the time, they filled out the resume, they filled out the application. We email people and they don't respond. And I'm just trying to think like what the other side of like, which is also, okay, I guess another like we're getting rejected from people being interns with us, but like, which I think is like, actually a little funny. But
people are very excited, but a couple people, it's like, what? But I mean, this happens with actors too. Like, why did you say yes to an audition and then blow it off and then not submit?
I just don't understand the thought process behind that. Like, if you put all that work into submitting, and then we ask for an interview, and then they don't. The only thing that I can think of is they're busy, like whatever. They didn't see the email. I guess that's not fine, but it is what it is. Or they have so much anxiety because again, I'm just thinking like back to my little anxiety-ridden days of like, okay, like what do I do? Like, what if I get this? Like, what then comes next? And that fear is cripples and is very real and is absolutely debilitating. And I think that at that point, if someone saw the, ability of you based off of your resume or whatever it is, then that means that you potentially can do it.
Yeah.
You can keep going. You can do it. Like, I don't know. Again, it's that confidence of like working on that confidence. Like, if someone else saw something in me, then I can do it.
And if you don't have
ride on that, do that.
And it's hard when initially you have to be your own support person. Like a lot of people have partners or best friends or people that will be, that little voice in your ear saying that you are capable and you are qualified. But a lot of times in the beginning, before you start making money, before you start showing product or progress, that is you. And so you really need to be your biggest advocate. You have to be your biggest cheerleader.
What a pep talk this is.
I know. Well, it's true because people are going to believe in you so much more if you believe in yourself.
Right.
Is someone going to invest in you or give you money or give you their time, which is like giving money, if you're showing them that you might not be qualified, that you want to be qualified, but like, I'm not sure. I'm going to say, I'm so sorry, but I don't have the time for that. Right? Because their time is their money. You do have to be your own pep talk person, your own cheerleader.
Yeah.
And that's hard in the beginning.
And if people also, again, it's going to be that celebrating the small wins. If people are like saying no or saying like, I think that you can do it, like, please, like, let's have an interview or let's follow up or let's do something, like, ride that, take it. Don't let that fall and slip away because of your own insecurities. Like, if someone is showing you that they want to
work with you,
potentially, then you're going to take it and take it quick and don't let it go on the back burner. Yeah, I mean, I even get that. Like, I've sent one of my old bosses a script, and I had never gotten feedback from this person before. And I was like, nervous,
so proud, so proud.
Yeah, and he had told me like back in the day, like, hey, you can send like your scripts to me. But this was like when I was going to be hired in like a capacity with him, and then that didn't end up happening because of whatever random. The show got canceled. But I had been nervous to like send it to him, and he came back with amazing. Mainly because I'm like, what if he thinks I'm a better and won't hire me?
Obviously, it didn't happen.
No,
thought it was great.
No, but yeah, just my own insecurities, my own getting in my own way, and came back with great feedback. And it was easy. And like, again, one of those things that he just was like, yeah, I'll go, yeah.
And so what that is taking people up on their offers too. Yep. So when there have been many times, especially, people in college or people who start out acting who know me will come to me and be like, wow, I really want to know more about this. Or like, these are my headshots. I don't really know what to do. Like, I'm not really sure what to navigate next. And I'm like, let's get coffee. Let's, maybe I've even gone as far as like sending them resources, and like they'll say thank you, and then they will never bring it up again. And I know it's about maybe fear or putting it on the back burner or not wanting to ask for too much.
Or even waste other people's time.
But I literally said, talk to me. I literally said, let's set up a coffee date. I have to stop myself, but because like I will follow up with that person and be like, hey, do you still want to talk about this? I'm still interested. And they're like, yeah, I'm kind of busy right now, or yeah, I really want to do this. I'm just like not sure like if you're available or not. I told you, let's go.
Yeah.
I said, let's go.
No, I did a talk at like a school before, and I was like, legitimately, please email me if you have any questions. If you want,
and how many people did?
0. And people came up after and were like, I totally want to email you. I'm going to do it. Because not to say like I spoke at a school and like no one contacted me.
I did the same thing. One person contacted me and we booked her.
Right. Well, and how did I get my first job? Was someone spoke at my school.
Tell the story. Tell the story. No, okay. Tell the story from the beginning.
So during COVID times, I was technically an alum. One of the clubs at the school was having a person come and speak, an AD come and speak, who was an alum as well. And I attended via Zoom. And afterwards, she said, email me, whatever, if you have any questions, blah, 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 whatever. I emailed, I said, I have 0 experience. I want to get on set and start peeing. And I would love to like take you up on whatever. I'm not sure if you have any, whatever.
Openings.
I don't even know. I don't even remember what exactly I said, but I'm looking to start peeing. So let me know what I can do. And she literally booked me like, I think the next week out. And it was myself and only one, as far as I know, because we had like a little friend group. Another friend emailed later, but she emailed like a week or 2 later, and I was the one that got the job because that night I emailed her. Just saying, it happens.
And when you're encountering those people, we
practice what we preach.
We practice what we preach. We really do. We really do. This is our biggest pep talk.
This is why we're saying
this is the season opener for a reason. Because when you encounter people who are guest speakers giving talks, when you encounter people who say like, oh, I have somebody I can put you in contact with, generally these are people who put themselves in that space because they want to help other people.
Yeah,
because they enjoy talking about
and that's not necessarily everyone in this industry, which is fine. You will find out who are the people that like will, help out or whatever. You can get the vibes, you can suss it out. But if people are like legitimately sitting there and chatting and like wanting and like literally saying, like begging people, like we want to help, like if you have,
take them up on it.
Yes, like oh my
take them up on it.
Please do.
Take us up on it.
Yeah. I don't know. Get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Convert those mental hurdles into a different vernacular that you can look at it. So how much time is this really going to take me? How am I going to feel when I get a no? Maybe I'll just send a different email. Prepare for that yes. So that you are mentally prepared when someone actually emails you back and says, yeah, I know, I'd like you to apply. I'd like you to go to the second round.
And
what?
Maybe that's like the getting caught up in the details part, which I do understand of like, right? Like having, like, for instance, reaching out to management, reaching out to whatever. You're going to want to have your reel ready. You're going to want to have your spec scripts ready, your whatever, your resume ready to reach out, because if they then come back and say, like, if you send log lines and they then come back and say, hey, we're interested in reading this or whatever it is, you need to have it ready.
This is all with a prelude of being prepared.
Right. So I do understand that holding you back a little bit, but again, I guess that then is going back to schedule your shit, schedule it, put it in.
I'm writing during this time.
Yeah.
I am reading
and the steps, and also like list out your steps of like, if I want to get management or do something or send, whatever, get in contact with this person for whatever reason, then what you need to do, then what I'll need to have is my reel and my log lines, my scripts, and my whatever headshots ready, resume ready. So that way, whenever they do email me back, I have it ready.
It's a drag and drop.
Right.
It's less stressful because you're not scrambling at the last minute. It's more curated than than doing things last minute so that
so
you
I
are
guess,
prepared.
I mean, there are details that you could get caught up in. Then that's when you schedule it out and you do it. And you don't let yourself stop doing it just because you don't feel worthy enough or you're not ready or whatever it is. Who cares? Send it. Because the thing is, too, is like maybe you're not ready, but they are. And they're willing to work with whatever they see at that time.
Meaning meet you where you're at.
Meaning maybe you're an actor who doesn't have a musical on their reel, but you can sing really well or whatever it is, but you've just never been booked for a musical, but you've got comedy or whatever else. Like you can, reach out to, I don't know if that's your thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Musical agent or whatever it is, so, but you just got to do it.
I think too, if you're someone that has a demanding other job or if you have dependents, like I have 2 kids, there have been so many times where I'm like, I don't know if I should RSVP yes because I don't have a babysitter lined up. I don't want to have a babysitter lined up. And then every time, if it's something that I really want to do, and then we get called in for it, I figure it out. Mm-hmm. And so if this is something that you really want to do, kind of like joining the union. If, people say like, oh, it's so much money, like, plan for it. Ultimately, that is your goal. Ultimately, all the jobs are there. Align yourself with where you want to end up.
Yeah.
Get out of your own way. You can do it. The old girls believe in you.
Yeah, no, I think that we, the biggest thing is just there are things that can get in your way and we get it. And
we feel it.
That's frustrating and hard. And like, we've been there. We know, like, again, those list of things that you need to get done are things that can get in your way.
Mentally,
and
physically.
If you don't have the stuff ready, then you shouldn't be sending the email, right? Because then if they do come back and say, yes, we love this, and you have nothing to send for, nothing to give them, then that's that, right? But it's more about getting out of your own way. If you have the things, if you meet certain criterias, if you have, like, if you're not, don't discount yourself. It's just about, I don't know, let other things get in your way. But you should not be the thing getting in your own way.
Correct.
Yeah. So collect those no's.
We believe in you.
Get those failures, because the only way
this year's going to get better. We have to believe it.
Yeah. The only way to succeed is to fail sometimes.
Totally. Or just it might not look the way you think it's going to look.
Mm-hmm.
It might be better. It might be harder for a period of time, but it might be better.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up.
So, go get
set.
Woo! Season 5!
The Get Set podcast is created, edited, and produced by Jessica Payne and Monique Schwanneman of Old Girls Entertainment. Original music composed by the incredibly talented Kyle Hall. You can follow him on social media at Kyle Hall Music.
If you vibe with this episode and our mission of bringing to light different career paths in the industry, especially for women, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share us with a friend. Thanks, friends.